Hype as shit. Hold on.
Hair's looking good.
Hair's looking good?
Hair's
You like it?
looking
Yeah. Let's go. That was the goal. I'm going to, angle myself a little bit towards the camera so you can stretch out the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sponsored.
Sponsored by Supreme. That would be the fucking
Imagine that
deal,
shit.
bro.
Imagine that shit.
That would be insane.
What would you do if like Supreme just reached out to you right now and was like, dude, you're on the up and coming on the podcast game. We got a deal for you. Like what would you do from there?
I would find it impossible to say no. I'm going to wear Supreme for the rest of my life.
Dude,
Bro,
I would drop out of college. That's the first thing.
Well, that's kind of
with the mic closer towards you.
Right,
Just want to let you know that you're good. Kind of. It's dynamic, so it's kind of gotta be like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you mind checking the shot, see if it's good? It's good.
Bet.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, you're good.
All right, word.
Just
But,
want
like,
to make sure.
That's what I was getting at. Like, how far would you go from that?
I mean, if you recognize that an up-and-coming podcaster has a Supreme deal, do you know how much more inclined you're going to be to watch them?
Like that is clout right there.
Yes.
Like I know clout. Like saying somebody has clout has been dying recently. Like we haven't said that in years, but that is clout right there.
Mm-hmm.
That
is clout Alper right there.
is clout out, and that's why you could wake up tomorrow to an email from Supreme.
Bro, they have the amount of clothes that I could wear for the rest of my life in like one drop.
Yeah,
they have shirts, they have shirts, shorts, pants, hats. Bro, have you seen their pink underwear?
They have pink underwear.
Yeah,
I always look at their underwear.
Do you really?
I always because that's like always one of those things that I thought I could afford. Like if I'm gonna get any Supreme, I wanted to rep Supreme. Like all I could look at was the t-shirts and the underwear.
Yeah.
I definitely would have got some pink underwear.
Yeah, they usually have the black one or the white one, but for this new release, they have pink underwear. They have pink Hanes tees, pink Hanes underwear, and pink Hanes socks, bro.
Shit.
Imagine pulling up to the function and it's all pink
in the pink
bro.
Supreme Hanes drip. That's crazy.
What's the most you've ever spent on one singular item? Could be anything.
Like anything?
Let's say more clothes related, though.
Clothes related? Honestly, I really have not spent that much on clothes. Like, I think maybe $100 sweatshirt or a $100 pair of pants or something like that. Mm-hmm. I did actually get my first Supreme shirt the other day.
Okay.
The week before we moved up here to college, we were driving Ben to York, and Lego's The Supreme drop is out, and I was like, I haven't looked at this in so long. So I get on there and I find like this shirt. First try, I got it.
And I was
serious?
Just
like I just celebrated it. That was like something that I hadn't thought about since freshman year. And here I am on my way up to college, and I just get to that goal. But it was only a t-shirt, so it was only like $40.
Bro, I mean, it's still Supreme though. The fact that you're wearing it is all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, everyone's like, yo, the Supreme hype's dying down. I still think they make fire clothes.
They do. And that's why I hadn't thought about spending like money on Hypebeast clothes since freshman year. And then here I was like buying it without a second thought. Like it just is.
My favorite Supreme clothing of all time was, I was the biggest Ugly God fan on the face of the earth. Yeah. So in my freshman year, actually, I remember Ugly God was wearing this black Supreme sweatshirt with a red, white, and blue /Supreme logo down. And I was like, I need this sweatshirt. And I looked it up and it was like $220 for resale. But I couldn't find, honestly, I would have spent it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I would have spent that if I could find it in my size, but they only had it in medium and I'm a small.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
However, this is episode 19 of the Brandon Alper Experience. It's been 4 minutes, but finally we're getting the introduction done. To my right, I have Michael Wiley.
Sup, yo?
To my left, I have Patel.
What's up?
We're going to do a little bit of introduction about the people, and then let's go. It's good.
All right. We have done so many icebreakers since we've got here.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many times I've have to be like, hey, yo, I'm Mike. I'm from Smyrna, Delaware. I'm a bio major at the University of Delaware. Little fun fact about me, I spent my summer shucking oysters so many times. And it's just a script at this point. So, hello, Omar.
How is shucking oysters?
Dude, it's actually so fun in a way. Like, because I got a job at the Big Oyster because my cousin works there. Like, he's been working there for a while. And so we go up there, and he was like, you, my cousin, I'm going to train you to be my apprentice. And I was like, okay. I've never had an oyster. I honestly couldn't even tell you that I had recognized that oysters existed until I get here. And so I get up there and it's just like a little knife, like this long, and they come in different sizes, just like a little sharp tip, and you just force it open from the back, crack it, and like slice the tendons off, and then you serve it. And I would do that 12, like a half dozen. This one day I counted, I had massacred 700 oysters.
Oh my God.
On one Wednesday.
Do you ever eat them? Or do you just, okay.
So I was nervous to try it. Like I'm not usually nervous, but just looking at it and like smelling the seafood behind the raw bar, I was just like, God. And so I did it and I was like, this is not that bad. It's not that bad. And then you put cocktail sauce on it and you put horseradish on it. It's actually pretty tasty. But I will say, after I had been shucking for like over a month and a half, I didn't want to eat them. Like just looking at them, I was disgusted. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
I love it. That was a good icebreaker. On to my boy Ohm.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, bro.
Well, my name's Ohm. I'm a freshman, 18, and I play tennis.
Submissive and breedable.
Yep.
Of course. You play tennis. How long have you been playing tennis for?
Since about 8th grade. Yeah.
Are you good?
I don't know.
I think he's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I watched him play the one time. I think he's pretty good. He's better than I am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, personality. How would you describe yourself?
Shy at first.
Okay.
But usually just pretty chill. Don't really care too much.
All right. What's your opening pickup line?
You're hot. You gotta go straight to the point, or else
Straight to it.
They get bored easily.
They do get bored easily.
They do.
Of course. So I wanted to kind of focus this episode a little bit around college, at least towards the beginning, because we've been in here for 3 weeks, and I think it's an extremely different time in all of our lives because now we just have this insane amount of freedom.
Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely.
I just want to talk about that freedom. And do you feel as if it should have been more different? Do you feel the same? Have you felt as if you changed at all?
You know, I'm very happy that you wanted to talk about this because I've also been wanting to talk about this all week. So the first week that we start classes was when I started to notice this. Connor was like on his homework for like 3 hours. And then I just walked in and laid on the bed because I had no homework. And I was like, this feels wrong. I feel like I should have homework right now. Like, we're in college. I expected this to be like crazy. And then the second week rolls around. Connor's still grinding his homework. And I just have like, my first homework assignment in college chemistry was to draw what I thought an atom looked like. I did a circle, a couple more circles, called it helium, and submitted it. Got a 100 on it. Like, this is college. I've been struggling so hard to like get over this feeling, but it's just, have you thought about this at all? Because I feel like I talk about it.
I mean, I haven't changed my study habits at all. I might be studying a little less at the beginning, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like I learned how to be like myself, like like independent by myself. Like, did my laundry for the first time. Made my bed changed my sheets for like the first time.
All right.
All that stuff, so I can be like, all right, I know how to do this now. I can live on my own.
I love it.
Yeah.
I honestly was expecting my mental state to go through more of a change because I always thought I was like very independent in general. I like to live, fairly by myself. I like to ride solo.
Yeah.
However, ever since being able to live by myself with no parents to really guide me, I had a feeling that some sort of thing was going to open up within me and I was just going to break my shell, even though I don't really have that much of a shell in general. But I've recognized that I'm still the same person internally. Yeah. Like, I have not changed at all. My ways are still the same. Like, I haven't hung around the people that I wouldn't hang around if I were around them in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I feel as if my judgment hasn't went down at all. I felt as if, honestly, it's increased more because the more people that you involve yourself with, the more people you understand that you don't want to hang around.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone deserves a chance.
Yeah.
And that's just college.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely agree with you. I think that I was also expecting like a significantly larger change. But I just feel like it's kind of just picking back up where it left off, except like with more freedom. Like, I guess I was scared of the idea of being an adult. Like, that's what my expectation was. Even if I didn't think that externally or like vocalize that, I think I was scared of being an adult. And so now that I'm here and nothing has changed, I feel the exact same. And I think that where I'm struggling with, I'm not used to the relief of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we were relieved of it, and now it's just there again. Mm-hmm. And it's just chilling now.
Yeah. Got you. By the way, to the viewers, to whoever's watching this that sees that we're turning around, we are recording this in the lounge of the floor that we stay at, so there are probably going to be people that come in and out, and we just want to make sure that they do not come in front of the camera. Of course. Yeah, we have a little crowd forming right now that are watching, but it is all good. It's all good. I mean, that's the goal. We want to be able to be as honest as possible, have as many people to watch this as possible without us feeling jittery. Yeah. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job at that.
Right. Yeah. I think so too. Like, I don't know. Is this the first podcast that you've done since we got up here?
I did a little practice one with one of my friends. Yeah. I was just bored one night, and I was like, what do I want to do? And obviously, I was like, you know what? I'm going to set up this fucking podcast studio. Right. And everyone was like, why would you do that? You're not even going to record one. I was like, why not? I have nothing else to do.
Why was there that night?
Yeah, I have no homework. Exactly. Why don't I just enjoy myself and do what I love to do? So she just sat down, and I just opened up some sort of third eye within my brain, because once 11 o'clock hits, my brain just starts flowing of information. Like, if you ask me a question, I will literally tell you anything. Great. And I was just talking about how much I learned from situations that I had been through. So there was this thing that I learned in psychology so far, and I can't exactly remember what the name of it was, but it was this belief that you only learn from experiences that you go through. Okay. And no matter what, I mean, obviously you're going to learn a little bit, but no matter what, if someone tells you something, you're not really going to take in that information unless you actually go through it yourself. So if someone says, don't touch the hot stove, I mean, sometimes the only way a person's really going to learn is if they touch the hot stove. Yeah. I mean, if you're learning about all this stuff in class, I'm just going to say this because we're in college. If someone drinks a fucking lot and they're like, well, blacking out fucking sucks. Yeah. Well, you kind of have to black out to go through, holy fucking shit, this sucks. So what I learned was that's kind of the way that I learn is, and it sucks, but that's just the way that I've always been. And I mean, I've attempted to change that, but I kind of like that anyways, because I never go through stuff that I know is going to fuck up my future. So I do things that if I make a mistake, I might mess up and people might look at me differently, but that's never going to change who I actually am, change my brain chemistry, like truly fuck me up. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go to jail for something stupid that I do, because I'm smart enough to not do that. That makes sense?
Yeah. I definitely see like where you're coming from. Trying to think. I had a thought going. All good. Do you have anything to say while I try to?
I mean, no, I was waiting for you to say something.
Just piggybacking off of me.
I can keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. Let's get my train of thought going again.
No, you're fine. So I mentioned this to a lot of people, but I was always wanting to be a psychology major. Right. And I'm just going to continue saying things that I have said to like my friends, but not really on this podcast, because obviously not a lot of people have been hearing what I've been saying. So I've wanted to be a psychology major for a while, ever since like the beginning of my senior year, because I just enjoyed the aspect of knowing what a person's thinking in their mind at that moment, or just when you're walking through a crowd and someone has a look on their face when you look at them. Like I'm just a psychoanalyzer. I love that kind of shit. Yeah. So when I got into my psychology class and I realized that that's not all psychology is, and psychology has so much to do with rats, so much to do with like monkeys, so much to do with animals and testing on them. I was like, oh my God, I really don't have an interest in this. So I was just sitting there and I was like, oh my fucking God, dude, this is so boring. And originally I thought like my professor, I kind of have to relate to whoever's teaching me in order for me to really feel as if I'm teaching or like if I'm learning anything. Because if I feel as if I can relate to you, I feel as if I can take what you're telling to me not with a grain of salt, but like truly take it within me. Obviously, I'm gonna have to fuck up to learn it, but you know what I mean.
That's how it works.
Exactly. So I ended up being okay with knowing that other people have different interests within the same topic, if you know what that means. Okay. So if I were to compare that to another thing, like someone could listen to a podcast like Call Her Daddy or some shit, but not like the Brandon Alper experience. You know what I mean? So I've just kind of come to the conclusion that I'm going to accept however a person looks at something, even if we have similar interest in the same field. So I'm still not sure whether or not I want to switch out of the major because I want to do clinical. However, I was starting to think that you're just going to be working with depressed people all day. Yeah. And I mean, that sounds nice because one of the things that I love to do is to lift other people up, but just working with, depressing people all day is really going to kill your mood. Yeah. And I remember looking at a study and it said that psychologists have the highest level of depression. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I'll fact check myself at some point. But yeah, it was insane. It was like 40-something% of psychologists have depression, and they have to go to psychologists or therapists themselves just to get over it. And I was like, I don't want to become a statistic, bro.
Yeah, I definitely feel like what you're saying, and like about the idea of switching your major. Mm-hmm. I wake up and think I want to do something else every day. Oh my God, so like I could wake up today. Oh. I could wake up today and be like, I'm a bio major on the pre-med track. I'm going to go be a doctor. And then tomorrow I'll wake up and be like, maybe I want to go open a fishing boat or something and just like take people out on a boat. And I should not be having that feeling. Yeah. Especially like I have to decide. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I've always believed in the idea that you can change like from wherever you're going. There's always success. Everybody can grow. You have your roots and you know where you're going. But the other day when we got our hearing, did anybody tell you about us getting written up? Yeah. We can go into that in a second. Of course. But while I was doing the research for that, I was like, maybe I want to go be a lawyer and be pre-law.
He was on.
And I was talking about, like, I did, when we get into the hearing, we'll talk about that. But I would not shut up about being a pre-law major. Like, I thought about switching to, like, political science and going and doing that. Next day, I wake up and I was like, nah. I'm a bio major. I'm going to be a doctor. And it's so annoying because that kind of prevents me from setting my energy and like prospering in one specific category. Like I always feel like I have to keep growing myself out instead of up.
Okay.
Like every time, like now that I'm on here right now, this inspires me to go do one for my own, like make one for myself. And now my brain is going to be like, let's put energy into that. So tomorrow I'll probably wake up and I'll be like, dude, we could totally do a podcast. Like, this is incredible. I'm so happy to be here. We could definitely do this. Tomorrow, while I'm doing that, I could find like a skateboard or something. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, dude, I want to get back into skateboarding. And then my brain is going to put energy into that. And then time from me is going to get put into doing research on that. While I'm doing that, I could hear a song and then like, as it's going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that pisses me off because it's like, while my brain is allowing me to pursue as many things as it wants and it like at least get a tiny hold into it, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I don't know what to do about it. I just wake up and I'm just like, is this where I'm supposed to be today? And I've been trying so hard to fight that feeling. And it doesn't help waking up in a bed that I'm not used to. Yeah. In a city that I'm not used to, surrounded by people that I'm not used to yet. And it just, I appreciate the diversity of it, but it is scary. Yeah. It's scary. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't mean to be like talking about future and then go into the idea that it's scary, but like you were talking about psychologists and stuff like that. And it's, I can't listen to people that have their goals set up. Like I can listen to it and I can appreciate it and I can be like, go do that. But then I'm like, why am I not so certain about that? And like, I don't even know if I want to go into like the psychological side of it, but it's just scary. Yeah. Cause then I'm like, do I have to do better for myself? What am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. If all these people surrounded by me know what their major is and they know where they're going with it, what am I doing wrong that they're not doing? And then I find myself in this situation where if I stay on this track, what will I not be capable of doing? If I stay on this pre-med track, I'll be in school for the next like 20 years, 15 years. What am I going to miss out on? Like, and this really hit me when I was giving the tattoos at fight night, because I was like, what if this is my passion? Like I was just having so much fun, and then I compare it like to something that I've never done, like going and being a doctor. What if I don't find that fun?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been going on a rampage right here, but I think about it so often, so often.
No, I love when people open up, because this is the shit that is real. Like this is actually what people are feeling, and this is what people want to listen to. Yeah. Because if you're willing to open up, other people might be going through the exact same thing, but they don't know how to verbalize it. Yeah. So I fucking love that.
No, I'm glad. I was telling you all day, ever since you asked me this, I was like, I have been wanting to be on one of the Brandon Alper podcasts for so long. Every time that he would post, who can do a podcast this week, I would swipe up and I'd be like, yo, get me in there. But so like, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to open up, because I also, like you said, that's what the people want to listen to. I'm the people. I want to listen to the ones where they just open up and they talk and they just go into the information. I don't know about everybody else, but I love listening to podcasts. I don't know what is so enjoyable about it, because my favorite one is this. It's called, oh damn, of course I forget it right now. Okay. It's called Morbid. Okay. And it's these two girls that like live up in Boston, and they just go over like murder cases and like missing cases and stuff like that. And it's just like an hour-long talk about them telling the case and like their commentary on it. But like, it's just so enjoyable just listening to it. And it's just like, I don't know. I like podcasts. How do you like podcasts?
I love podcasts.
What do you listen to?
I mean, I watch the Nelk podcast.
Okay.
They're very interesting.
You know, I've never actually watched a single Full Send podcast.
Dude,
no.
The first one you should watch is the Shaq one.
Shaq one?
Dude, very inspirational.
What do they do? Like, what separates them from other podcasts?
Because they just like talk about whatever. Like they don't censor themselves.
Yeah. Like what I was telling you before, when they had Tory Lanez on there, and he was like advertising his weed to them, and they were all just smoking. It was just like, I don't know if I could give you a clear example of like what separates them from the rest. Like I just watched it because Ohm put it on the other day, and I thought the Tory Lanez one was very interesting, because they had talked to like a lot about psychological effects and like marijuana and CBD and stuff like that. It was more educational than I thought going into a Nelk Boys podcast, but I'd say give it a listen. Okay. If I'm not saying listen to all of them, but just listen to one of them and tell me what you think. You're the podcast guy.
For someone who has a podcast, I don't listen to podcasts. I swear to God. I feel like I should and listen to other podcasts to take, inspiration, but I just don't know. I feel like there's not that much time in a day in order for me to do that.
And I get that. I only have been able to listen to a podcast while I'm driving from work. Okay. So like I live in Smyrna, and I worked an hour away in Lewis. It's like right over there. So I had like an hour drive every day, as I just enjoyed it. And I listen to music. Like we could go on a rampage about music right now, but every once in a while I would just be like, my brain is not built for music at this moment. Mm-hmm. And so I would just be like, I'm going to throw on a podcast, and I just listen to it. And you have to find interesting ones. Like I'm not saying that every podcast out there is going to be like so captivating. Like I'm really selling the idea of a podcast, but if it's something that really interests you and you just listen to it, your brain allows you to process the words as they come in. That's what I've found. Like something that doesn't interest me just bounces right off. But I feel like they're telling the story straight to me. And like, obviously that's what a podcast is supposed to be, but I like it. And I think you should give it a try. Like if you ever have, I mean, I know we're in college now, there's no long drives really coming up, but if you ever have a long drive, and even if it's only like 30 minutes, because that's enough to at least get halfway, and that's there and back as a trip. I think that you should give it a try. Okay.
Any specifics, like the Nelk Boys or whatever?
Yeah, definitely check out the Full Send podcast if you have time.
That's when you're like chilling, like not driving. You don't say that when you're driving, but like when you're just chilling, you're bored late at night, turn it on.
Okay.
Get a podcast going. I don't know if you're into like murder, like investigation, like true crime.
That is the shit that kind of does interest me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'd say definitely give it a try. You could listen to Morbid. It's these two girls. There's another one. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but just look up true crime podcast, because my dad had listened to this one and we listened to it all the time. Like when we would drive out to Tennessee, we would just listen to a bunch of them. But like I had finished it, and so I just looked up true crime podcast. And that's how I found Morbid. And honestly, most of them were very interesting. Mm-hmm. Like it's just, if it interests you, then definitely check it out.
Do you have a favorite crime? What's it called? Like a favorite crime? I don't know how else to say that. No, Olivia Rodrigo.
My favorite crime would definitely be Kurt Cobain's suicide.
Okay.
and like we're about to go really into it. But like, do you know the rumors around Kurt Cobain's suicide?
I've heard that someone tried to frame that he was killed. Or, no, excuse me. Like, that is the rumor, that someone killed him but framed it as a suicide.
So, Kurt Cobain's suicide, people think that it was a cover-up for Courtney Love, who was his wife and like the mother of his child, killed him. And they actually have a decent amount of evidence. I remember this was like years ago, so like it's kind of just coming off the dome, whatever I can pull out from it. But there's actually a documentary on it, and it's pretty interesting. But they found this dude, El Duce, and they got him on an interview. El Duce, okay. That's his name, and he was one of Courtney Love's bodyguards, and he was like spotted around Kurt Cobain's house sometime like before he killed him, and the interviewers were like, El Duce, what do you know about Courtney Love killing Kurt Cobain? And he was like, I know nothing. Don't worry about it. Next day, he was dead.
Okay.
Next day, he was dead. And Courtney Love was nowhere to be found. Like, she just had dipped. And I don't really think anybody's ever talked about it since. But it's just like, that's something that makes you think.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds? And he was found dead on the train tracks. Like, somebody had killed him, and they didn't try to cover it for his suicide.
Jesus.
It's just... There's gotta be more about it, but I was so into this like back in 6th grade. Like I was like, dude, Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain. It's not even a joke.
Have you heard the story of King Von killing Jakira?
Dude, like the biggest crime boss?
Yeah, it was the girl. She was like 14. How old was she? She killed like 17 people.
Crazy.
Bro, that story is literally insane.
Oh my God. I remember I was on Instagram, like I had just pulled up to my house and I saw that and I was like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
King Von from Beyond the Grave kills the highest crime boss in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is that where they are? I was like, what?
So apparently I watched an entire video explaining King Von and Jakira's like beef because she was a GD, he's a BD.
Yeah.
And apparently like he tried to message her on Twitter, was trying to seduce her, all this kind of shit. And then all of a sudden, like I can't remember the little details, but she was just killed, or she ended up killed. And then King Von, someone like hacks, I think, her account. I think that's what it was. Someone hacked her account in like 2015, 2016 and asked who killed her. And someone just says King Von. And like they never pursue him except for like 4 years later at the beginning of 2021, whenever it came out that the police made the assumption that it was finally him that killed her, when it was like known for 4 or 5 years. Bro, I remember seeing this stat that it was like 93, I want to say it was 93% of crimes in Chicago go unsolved in the same year that it is happened.
I'm not surprised.
Dude, that's insane.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, with such like a crime, like with such a high crime rate, like there's so much murders that happens that it's so hard to like put 1 or 2 and 2 together on who did who, because it's just all
everybody. It's everything. It's like all connected in some way.
Yeah, and like I don't want to speak on this because I don't know that much about it, but I've just heard that back in the 90s, early 2000s, that it was all drugs. Like all of the beef in Chicago, New York was all like drug and gang territory, and now it's just all about killing ops and like killing the opposition. Bro, that's scary.
It is scary.
Like that's sad that that's the world that we have to live in. But I mean, it happens, and I don't want to say we should deal with it, but like how do we
deal with it?
That?
I do not know.
I don't think
I don't think there's a way to deal with that.
I don't think I'm qualified and have enough research to answer that. Like I don't even want to attempt to answer that, because that's a generational, like sectional, generational, all of it. It all goes back.
Is that something that we grow out of over time, or is it something that just like has to, I guess, be broken up? Like I actually do not know. These are the questions that I love to ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I think it could happen over time. One thing that I always think about is like everything is taught. Everything is taught. So it doesn't matter how, like what generation you are from, if you're taught the same exact thing. So I think that where we are now, we can grow out of if our generation or like the next generation stops it and stops teaching those issues. And then their children and the generations after them will be taught the way that they should be taught.
Yeah. I'm kind of making a comparison to what you're saying right now to the way that I was feeling, especially towards sociology, because this kind of is a sociology issue.
Oh, definitely.
And I look at that because there's kind of two ways of looking at it. There's I don't want to go into politics that much, but I want to beat around the bush a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, exactly. So there's the way of like not teaching it and then seeing what happens there, and then teaching it and then see what happens there.
Okay.
And my opinion, I don't want to exactly say what my opinion is, but I think I say it in an older episode. I just want to, I want to stay away from this. I think that we've never really dealt with a situation like this in the past, and we can't compare what we're going through right now to anything else, at least from what I've looked at, from what I've learned in history. So we can't look at something and be like, okay, we can compare this to blank in the past.
Yeah.
This was solved because we didn't talk about it. This was solved because we talked about it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, what the fuck do we do?
I definitely agree with what you had said about like this has never happened before. History repeats itself, and so it's hard to decipher what we're gonna do in the situation where, because honestly, the reason why this hasn't been solved, like what's going on now and what's been going on for years, is because we haven't gone through it. Like we can try to compare it to like the civil rights movements, and we can try to compare it to that. And while the bottom line is the time, like life is so different now.
Yes.
Like with social media, all of that, it's so much easier to gain an influence, gain a following than it was ever back then. So like all these people, everybody has a voice now.
Yes.
And when everybody's voicing it, but nobody's listening. Nobody is sitting there to listen and change. Everybody is just speaking at once, and we're just caught in the noise.
Yes.
Like us, there's so little that we can do, and we're just caught in the noise of everybody yelling. And that gives us the opportunity to learn from what we're hearing and to grow and be the person that can enact the change because he is listening, because he or she is listening.
My biggest thing is have you seen The Social Dilemma?
Probably. It sounds very familiar.
It was a movie basically it was a movie / documentary on the effects of social media on society today. So it was saying that social media is all tailored, and there's so much more to it, but I'm just going to talk about the political side of it. Social media is so tailored to your political spectrum. So if you're on the left, all you're going to see is left side politics on your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
And like hating on the other side.
Yes. And then if you're on the right, it's vice versa. Right. And it's scary because when you look at issues like that, in your eyes and everyone else's eyes on your side, you are correct.
Yeah.
However, the other side is wrong. But the other side, it's vice versa. They believe that they're correct. They believe that you are wrong. So it's just like every single person in today's society now is correct, whether or not you believe that, because it's what is being spread with the whole fake news aspect and whatnot. And it's fucking scary. It's terrifying.
It is. I definitely agree with like almost everything that you just said. You are going to see what you want these days. Like you said, social media, as technology has grown, you will see everything that you want, and you will make it known when you see what you don't want to see. And when it comes to something as so like civilly important as politics, like I think that there's not enough focus on politics these days. But when you get into something like politics, everything that you feel is going to be thrown in your direction because social media, cookies, all that, like how they track you. Everything that you see, like, I know I keep saying that, but everything you see will be what you want to see. And it's scary because you will always think you're right. And as we have generations of children growing up to be accustomed to only ever being right,
oh my God, I know.
You can't grow from it. You can't handle being wrong. Like if you've ever met like a spoiled person, and when you tell them no, they can't handle that, and they break down and they destroy things, like whether it's social ties or physical things, they break down. And as we are raising generations of people who don't know what it feels like to be wrong, I get worried when they come into power and when those people grow up to be the leaders. And I think that that's why, like, I mean, I don't want to go out and say it, but why bullying works. But I could go into that. But I have talked about that a bunch of times.
Okay.
But we won't go into that. But I'm just saying.
No, we have to go into it now.
You want me to talk about how bullying works?
Let's go.
All right. There's this person I know, and this is horrible to be admitting this, but in middle school, we used to mess with this kid. Okay. But we didn't like beat him up or anything. He always made like Godzilla noises. Like he would just be like, "You guys want to hear my Godzilla impression?" And we'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" So we would call him names sometimes. And looking back on it, I do feel bad because he was never really that bad of a person. But we're young, we learn, we grow. He now works at the sub shop in Dover, and that man is built. Like he is jacked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I did that. that was me, guys. That was me. And it's just like, is it so fucked up to be like, oh yeah, go out there and bully people? Yes. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm necessarily saying. Yeah. Everybody needs a push in the right direction.
Okay. I don't want to say I fully agree with you,
right,
but I do agree with the aspect of what you're going at, because I think that works for some people, but I don't think that it works for everybody.
No, and I also would like to say that I strongly advocate for not bullying at the same time. Like, I definitely know what it feels like to be shit on, and don't bully people. I know what but I had a point. Okay.
Bullying works when it works. It might not work all the time. Use viewer discretion as advised. That's the best way to put it.
Stop bullying. Speak up.
Speak up against bullying. Michael does not advocate against bullying. All right. I do want to talk about a little bit of what we were speaking about earlier with the sociology, to get a little bit back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I had to do this extra credit question, and I had to write a 250 to 500 word paper. Okay. And I honestly didn't mind it at all because I had to listen to a podcast, and it was called How Big Is Your Penis?
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. So I thought the entire fucking podcast was going to be about how big is my penis.
I see where this is going.
However, it was not about how big is your penis. It was about what people Google search and how it compares to what you actually believe. So... Exactly. Oh. So when you go on social media or when you go on Twitter, whatever it is, and people ask you to fill out a survey, most people are not going to answer it correctly because of political correctness, because of the being afraid that people are going to look at you differently if you are honest.
Yeah.
So you have to give people an incentive in order to tell your survey correctly. However, people believe that it's going to be tracked.
Yeah.
But people do not think when it comes to their Google searches.
Yeah.
And let me explain. When you Google search something, there is this, it's like Google Analytics, and you can look at what people search. So if you look at like different parts in the world, how big is, it's going to be how big is my penis, how big is my wife, whatever it is, you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
So the most important thing that I really saw kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier on whether to talk about something or whether not to talk about something. And this really fucking interests me. And it was because it was talking about, do you remember the San Bernardino shooting?
Yes.
So it was like 15 people got killed. It was bad. Basically, what had happened was Obama came out and he did a speech. And he did this speech, and basically what he was trying to do was lecture a group of people on Muslims and how they were normal, on how they were, they are people. And the Google search, the racist Google searching towards Muslims actually increased. So the entire point of what he was trying to do actually completely backfired because he was attempting to lecture people about Muslims to believe that they are us.
Yeah.
However, when he changed the way that he was lecturing and he actually taught in a way of Muslims are basketball players, Muslims are Nobel Peace Prize winners, Muslims are everyone who's around us today, our teachers. It was really interesting because everyone looked at it. All of the Google searching, racist Google searching, actually decreased.
Yeah, and that's just like, that's the effect that the news has. And that's the effect that, like what we were talking about earlier with the politics, you're going to see what you want to see.
Yes.
So like when something like that happens, somebody goes out in public and they say something. I actually saw an article like that. It was Olivia Rodrigo, and at like, was it the VMAs?
Yes, VMAs.
At the VMAs, she had said that growing up, she never saw pop stars that looked like her.
Okay.
That was the quote. Let's remember that. The headline that I clicked on to get to that video said, Olivia Rodrigo does not want to see any more white pop stars. And I was like, you're kidding, right? You're kidding. So I click on it, and it was like, I read the quotations, and it said what I had said to you. And I was just like, why do you have to go that far out of your way to get my attention? And then I think of all the people that have an ill opinion towards Olivia Rodrigo, and they see that, and they're like, yes. So they click on it, they get the cookies, and then they're going to keep seeing more like that. And they're just going to breed a hatred. I know that's just an example of like having an ill will towards somebody, but when they keep seeing something over and over again, like we've been talking about, it grows.
Yes.
And that's going to bring like hatred to the world. But then it can also bring good things if it was like you keep seeing the things you want. But I don't think people understand when they've crossed the line, because obviously it's okay to be biased about something. You like something, you don't like something. But when they're so far to one direction, they don't know or feel for the middle line or the opposition anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big issue.
I like that. I'm with you. People don't know when to stop. Honestly, that's the biggest thing. People don't know when to stop. And I think that's one of the things I try to advocate for is, I don't want to say it's one of those things that you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I think that you can, once again, learn from experiences. And I'm one of those people, I don't know if this is you guys, but I'm one of those people that can feel a vibe in a room.
Oh, yeah.
So if I do something that is presumably wrong in my eyes, I can feel my mindset and the entire vibe of the room change. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, now I know not to say that. Now I know not to do that. However, I think that when it comes to certain things, you should have some sort of spatial awareness, human awareness, in order to not do that in the first place and just be intelligent.
I definitely think like the kind of theme that you've been trying to put is you learn from experience. Yeah. I definitely think that through experiences and like doing stupid things, good things in a room, you build that ability to read the vibe in the room. And once you can do that, you no longer have to make the bad choice. Like you no longer have to suffer from the experience, and you learn from it. And I think that a lot of people, when they're trying something consistently, they don't realize that eventually it's going to click. Yeah. Like they won't have to suffer anymore. And I think that in a lot of circumstances, people need to understand that more, that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall, keep trying, because you learn from those experiences. And then at some point, you will prosper and you don't have to suffer anymore. And that could be years, seconds. It all depends. And I think a lot of people need to understand that, that it's okay to keep trying.
I agree. Have you guys heard of stoicism?
You were telling me about that.
Yeah. It's I was telling Ohm one day when I was walking home. I don't really believe in it because I'm more of a transparent kind of person. If I'm feeling a certain way, I'm going to express the certain way that I'm saying. It will be known. But I'm not going to seem as if I'm complaining. Like I'm going to attempt to validate my emotions. But stoicism, I think that's how I'm saying. I think that's how it's supposed to be said. It's all about hiding your emotions to make it seem as if you're okay. So it's a fake it till you make it mentality. Okay. And I think that there are certain circumstances where that works, but I've always kind of been the opposite. Like I've always believed that if I feel a certain way, if I'm feeling upset, I'm not going to go into a room and just be depressed and make sure everyone is like, oh my God, are you okay? Like I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. However, if I'm having a conversation with you, if I'm on a podcast and I'm maybe not in the best mood, I'm going to state exactly why I'm not in that good mood.
And that's right.
Because I think that it's just like a level of transparency. If you can see, if I'm honest with you and show you my actual emotions, I feel as if there's a strong connect. There's more of like a trustworthy bond because I feel as if I can actually be my true self around people. And I think that's what I truly stand in. Now, other people, that's not how it always works. But that's one of the things I try to advocate for. And And what were you gonna say? I saw that.
Well, I was just thinking like transparency is so good. Like I love the idea of just being able to be open, and I've thought about that a lot. And one of the best ways that I could explain it in a more, I guess, more of a made up way. I don't know, but transparency, I would call that like being a sunbeam.
Okay.
It's interesting, but I get that from a Nirvana song, like we were talking about Kurt Cobain, but it's called Jesus Don't Want Me for a Sunbeam. But so I've just been thinking about like if you can walk into a room and not even be the center of attention, but just be the light in the room, and you are the sunbeam in the room, and like just be open. And I know there will be times where you can't be the sunbeam and you want to be down, and that's where we're going about fake it till you make it. Yeah. You shouldn't have to fake it all the time. If you are not up for something, then you shouldn't. I wish that more people felt they weren't obligated to go and be this person that they've set up for themselves. And I think that so many times, like we shit on the idea of a facade, but because the more noticeable ones are the people that do it for attention and stuff like that. But think about how many people sit there and have a facade. Like think about the amount of people that you could walk up to on the streets and they have a smile on their face, but actually they're going through it. Like they're sad. And it gets me worried in a way. Like I think that transparency and being able to be open is such a frowned upon thing in the past. Like generations of males that weren't able to express their emotions. Like I remember growing up being told like, men don't cry, don't do any of this, don't feel bad for yourself. So like I'm happy that I'm not like that, but think about the amount of people that just suffer and just go through it. And I wish that we can make transparency more of a thing. And it's so hard for people. You can't just go up to anybody and be like, be open. Tell me everything. When you get put on the spot like that, if you've been keeping something built up for so long, there's so much pressure, you don't want to let it out. Yeah. You don't know. And when you're in that mindset, you don't know who you can trust to tell like that. Even it could be your best friend and you don't know how you're going to feel about that. And I don't know. I wish we could do more research and grow on it and think about it, talk about it.
Yeah. I really liked what you mentioned about the be yourself aspect. Yeah. Because I feel as if I have two different types of people within my body. Yeah. I know that sounds corny, but it's like, you know, not the demon and the angel, but like just the two different two different types of people. So I have moods where I'm extremely sociable, and then I have moods where like I just want to be by myself. I want to be solo, but every single time, I don't want to say every single time, but people always associate me with this extroverted, outgoing motherfucker that likes to, you know, go out and enjoy himself, like have fun and whatnot. But like that's not always me. Yeah. I want to just lie down. I want to play video games. Yeah. I want to do my homework. Yeah. I don't always want people around me. Yeah. And whenever that happens, whenever I'm like not in that mood, they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I am beyond okay. My social meter is filled up to the top. I don't feel like talking right now. And I feel as if people need to understand, and people need to understand that everyone has different moods.
Absolutely.
And okay, this might sound like me being a dick right now, but I literally have a podcast. If I don't want to talk to you, there's probably a reason. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can talk for 3 hours straight. If I don't feel like talking to you, there's more than likely a reason. Whether it's you, whether I'm not in the mood, like understand that I have the capabilities. I'm just not in the mood.
Have you like ever straight up declined someone?
All the time.
Okay. Yeah, I had figured, but I don't know. You're a nice person. I thought maybe not. Well, has anybody gotten pissed at you about it?
Yeah, one of the girls on my floor.
Really? Let's hear about it.
Yeah, no, not Maya. Oh, okay. No, she never asked. I don't want to not self-incriminate. I don't want to incriminate them. Yeah, she messaged me. She was like, "Can I hop on the podcast?" I was like, "No." And I'm not gonna lie, most people, I'm like, I'll think about it depending on the mood, depending on the day. No, I just straight up said no. I'm not having you on the podcast. They said, why? I said, you are not fit for the conversation that I enjoy having. And she was like, she said, well, I can be serious. I said, I bet you can.
I love that.
I'm not, bro. I'm not gonna attempt to be someone that I'm not. Like, I know that I don't want you on, and if I truly do believe that, like, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
If there's the slightest hint or possibility that I might have you on in the future, I'll say maybe, but that's like a 1%.
Yeah.
But if it's no, it is no, bro.
Yeah.
And then I had another guy that wanted to continue being on, and he just kept asking, kept bugging me, bro. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, I said no. No is no.
Hit him with the no and
Stop
he's
fucking
still
asking. Yeah. It's a struggle, but it's cool though.
Yeah.
And what were you gonna say?
Well, like I definitely get that. Like, I don't know if this is a dream for you, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like so many people will sit down and be like, "Let's make a podcast." They never do it. You're doing it right now. We're on the podcast right now.
Actually doing it.
You're doing it, and I think that, like, I have to give you credit.
I appreciate that.
We're here right now. We got microphones, a professional setup. In my opinion, it's a professional setup. Like, this is so cool. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
And I definitely understand, like, you sit there and people are begging, like, let me on the podcast, and you're just like, this is me. I did this. I did this.
I love that shit. Like, the fact that people actually are willing to be on it for that sole reason. Dude, I went up to these two dudes. They had football shirts on, and obviously everyone loves people that play football. And I was like, yo, y'all want to be on a podcast? One guy was a kicker, and then the other guy was a wide receiver, and they were like, hell yeah, I want to be on the podcast. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That shit was dope. I mean, that's one of the things is like everyone always has something to say.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not someone actually goes through with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think differentiates me from like another person.
Yeah.
Because like I've heard so many of my friends be sitting on a couch at night watching, whatever it is, and they're just like, bro, you want to film a podcast right now? And then like that is me now, bro.
Yeah.
But
You are on the
actually,
podcast
dude,
right now. I'm happy. When you first started the podcast, I was like, I feel like he's been wanting this. Like Polytech, broadcast media. I don't want to be like, this is what you're meant for, but this fits you. This fits you. This is what you were meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
damn, that means a lot.
like,
Bro, that's why I was thinking of like switching to a communications major. So I was talking about like the psychology aspect. Well, I love the psychology part, but then I feel as if communications could help me the most.
Yeah.
But then what the fuck is communications going to do? Like I'm already speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, you could minor in one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro,
right.
market this bitch.
Market
Incredible.
it. Get
Bro,
marketed.
the fact that bro, it's funny because this is going to kind of compare to what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I've had so many people where I've just been in groups of like 4 dudes, 5 dudes, and they're like, yo, walk up to those girls and say what's up to them. And I was like, okay. Like,
Okay.
bro, that does not scare me. That does not worry me. And then sometimes I'm not in the mood to do it. If I'm in the mood to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me because that's the kind of shit that never scares me. And bro, I will self-promo my ass off.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Keep selling it, honestly.
And bro, do you know what they say when you're like, I have a podcast? You have a podcast?
You have a
What?
podcast. Like, yo, get me in there. Like everybody, because like you said, everybody has something to say. It all depends on what it's about. Like you could go up to anybody on the street and be like, you want to have a conversation? And like,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're in a rush, they're going to be like, no, but everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to talk. No matter what it's about. Like, I mean, we've been sitting here talking all this time and it just keeps growing from there. Everybody wants to talk.
What were you saying?
Have you seen Vic Blends on Twitter? I mean, TikTok?
I've not.
He he just stands on the side, gives free haircuts, and has like a deep conversation with all of his clients.
Really?
But then like he actually cuts like little baby's hair. So
What?
he makes a little bit there, and then he
Okay.
just comes back home, stands on the street, free haircut for a talk. Gives them a free haircut. They're just chilling outside.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great
See?
talk.
Speaking of haircuts, we gotta involve my man Ohm a little bit.
Right.
I got to give him credit. He like shaped up my beard on our way over here.
Right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your hair cutting, bro.
Well, it was quarantine. I couldn't really go get a haircut, so I just had to shape it up myself because it was starting to look rough. Then I just kept doing it by myself, and I was like, all right, I don't really need to go to a barber anymore.
Yeah.
I can just do it at home. And then I started growing my hair out, so I'm like, I really don't need to go to a barber. But I would just shape my beard up all the time. And from there, I'm just like, yo, Mikey, let me give you a cut.
Yeah. And he shaped up the back of my head and he got my beard done right. And then today I texted him, I was like, oh, you trying to come shape up my beard?
Yeah. The second time doing it.
What?
Yeah, second time.
It's my first time like actually cutting someone's hair.
He's the return. I'm a return. His first
Can you
returning
move the mic a little bit
client.
closer. Sorry. It's got to be like you see how far it is from me, like
Decent.
Like that.
closer. You can move the mic closer to you. It doesn't matter if it makes that sound.
Oh shit. All right.
You're fine. Closer. I'm saying like you kind
Dude,
of
you got
got
the zone.
You see how
this.
you see how
Okay.
Mike's close to
You
it.
gotta.
Alright,
It's a
okay,
microphone.
okay.
You speak
Yep.
into it.
Yeah. Now you're good. I was just making sure that you reach the level that I wanted you at.
All right.
You are all good. That is
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'm his first returning
Yeah,
client.
Are-
He is.
I'm honored.
Are you looking forward to continuing doing that? Are you actually looking to do that as a
Probably
job?
not. But
Okay.
I was talking to Mike about it today. I'm like, he could be a tattoo artist. I could be a hair cutter or a barber.
could open
And we
a-
just get like a third that like does nails or something.
Mm,
Open up
like
a little
a
shop, a little side
Nice
business.
little shop.
Yeah. When you were doing those tattoos,
Yeah.
what was going through your head? Like on God.
Dude, I saw that on everyone's story.
Bro,
Honestly,
I saw girls that like didn't know each other and then met each other the day before
Yeah.
and were like, get my name tag. I'm like, come on, bro. I know.
I was just sitting there and I was like, I am having fun doing these tattoos. I will tattoo right now. Like that's the simple coding in my brain was tattoo. I will tattoo. So like people were just coming up to me and they were like, I want this. And I was just like, okay. And like, I was a little off, you know how it goes.
Respect.
And for some reason I was so focused. Like my hand was so steady. Like I had done nothing to give myself a reason to be so like mentally there and stable. And here I am for 3 hours, like down on my knees giving tattoos to people I've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I will tattoo. I was having so much fun for some reason. Like it was just so much fun. And then I went out and I bought a tattoo gun.
Mhm.
Amazon, man.
Don't even get started on that one.
They told me it was going to be here Monday. Then they said it was going to be here a day from now. Got pushed back another day.
Oof.
Pushed back another day. They brought it. They got it over to the Christiana Commons. For some reason deemed that it was undeliverable and took it back. And they said, we'll have it out tomorrow. Tomorrow came. Tomorrow went. Then again. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we cannot deliver this to you. We're giving you a refund. And I was just like, what? And like, it would be like, if you don't understand why, click here. And it would not tell me anything. And like, all it would do was let me track my package. And it would just be like, arrived at Newcastle County Sorting Center. And I'm just like, all right, now it's been like 10 days. What's up with it? And then finally, after like 12 days, I got my money back.
Jesus Christ.
And now I'm just like, do I even want to attempt to order another one? Like, was that a sign? I will be ordering another one.
Because are you gonna be ordering it to your house?
Oh, I'm getting it to my house. I will not be trying here again. I didn't know what I did wrong. I asked my boy Gabe to like type in our billing address and stuff like that because he had ordered like so many things off of Amazon already. I don't know what I did wrong. It just couldn't get here. It tried so hard to get here and it couldn't get here.
I had a package delivered to me, and like how they take a picture after they deliver it. He took a picture. It was on like in front of my building, and then I got there and it wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, somebody stole this.
Dude.
So like, I actually had to like file a refund, and then get my money back. And then I get a text the next day saying it's in the mailing office.
Did you get the refund?
Yeah.
Oh,
You got the refund and
Of course I got the refund.
yeah.
That's so tough.
It was just a laptop case, but like, like
No, but why would they take the picture in front of the building and then pick it back up and move it? Like,
no, I don't think they moved it.
That is one of the dumbest
Like-
things I've ever heard.
Maybe someone just saw it and like gave it to the mailing office.
that is a good person. I would have not done the
That's what I'm
same.
saying.
If I had their moral obligation to go up and grab it in general, it would have not gone to the mailing office.
Bro, I do love that. I love the honesty because that's the thing that I love to talk about is, I mean, kind of philosophical questions as well. I don't really have that much of an interest in philosophy, but like those are the questions that you ask at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Right and wrong. Like, is there truly a right and wrong when it comes to things? And I always have this conversation with my mom because my mom has a very high moral compass, I guess, and I have a fairly okay one. It's
Right.
not high, it's not low, but I definitely do things that are not the I wouldn't say not the best, okay?
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting when it comes to that stuff because I remember one time, and this is the funniest thing, and I felt good after doing this because it was like, all right, I'm not trying to be someone else, and it's not self-snitching, I promise. I was walking on Rehoboth Beach once, and it was raining. It was absolutely pouring outside. And I'm walking. I really want chocolate covered gummy bears. Okay. I'm desperate for chocolate covered gummy bears. And I'm like, I really wanted them bad. And I was going to buy the $7.50 one for half a pound.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm walking down the street and it's fucking pouring. A group of like 4 or 5 girls walks by. One of them drops a $10 bill. They continue run, but they don't realize the $10 bill was dropped. And I look at it. I pick it up and I look at them. I turn around. I see them running. And I'm like, yep. Took my ass straight to the candy kitchen. And you know what I did? I bought the pound.
He bought the pound. He went with the pound.
I bought the pound. I spent $5, but I got half a pound more chocolate covered gummy bears.
Work. I definitely think that that's such a hard thing about being a human is like a moral compass. Because I do things all the time where people are like, what? Why are you doing that? And like other people do that, like that I am like, why are you doing that? But it's so hard to judge that. I know. Because in that situation that you had explained, I definitely would have ran off with the $10 too. But then like in Ohm's situation, I like to think that I would have brought it. I don't ever see myself. I'm more of like in the middle. I'm not going to go move that package. That is not my job. That's not my job. But like I would like to think that I would go return it, but yeah.
Bro, I mean, everyone used to always joke around with me because they would call me Captain Save-A-Ho. Or they would joke and call me Superman or something.
Yeah.
And then there was one situation that a girl was going through, and I was like, you know what? The younger me would have helped this girl. However, I realized this is not my responsibility. You do you. You continue to keep doing that. I'm not gonna involve myself. You got it, bro. Yeah. And I just walked away because I began to get involved, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather not harm myself.
That is definitely part of growing up.
Still recording? Oh, shit. Is it off? What were we on? My bad.
Moral compass.
Yes.
Talking about a moral compass.
Oh, yeah. Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah. So I definitely think that's part of growing up is like recognizing that you don't have to expend yourself everywhere. And like going back to one of our first topics, I just don't think we're used to that free time of not having to rely on anything. Because like I was sitting there thinking the other day, and I was laying in bed, and I was like, damn, I have 5 hours until my next class. And I was just like, I'm doing something wrong. Because since kindergarten, 8 to 3, 8 to 3, 8 to 3, 8 to 3, every day, we were busy our entire lives. And nobody ever warned us for this free time. Like, you wouldn't think that you'd have to warn someone about this free time, but I can see people going insane like this. Not saying that I'm going insane, but if I'm thinking about this, then think about the people that are significantly less mentally stable than me, and all of a sudden they get dumped from an 8 to 3 lifestyle, just for an example, to 1 class a day at 10 o'clock at night. Like, yeah, how do you don't warn nobody? I wasn't warned about that, but it's also something that I'm not complaining about. It's just, what do I do? Mm-hmm. I'm having to like pick up hobbies and stuff and like read my book and do my homework. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that.
There was one thing that we mentioned earlier, and it was kind of the moral compass. And I've always been called a very selfish person, and I honestly consider myself a pretty selfish person when it comes to stuff like that, because I'm a pretty big perfectionist.
Yeah.
And I know that I enjoy control over certain situations. I enjoy that power aspect. And I feel as if I can go into a room and people are like, yo, it's him, or whatever, around people that I like, around people that I respect, that's how I want it. If it's people that I don't really care about, I don't really care about having that effect on people. But I do love that aspect of power.
Yeah.
And one of those things that I love about power in general, and I've been trying to not need power that much, because that was one of the biggest deciding factors in one of like my friendships that ended a pretty recently, because then I realized that my other friendships that ended recently all kind of had to do something around power.
Okay.
And after realizing that I don't need to have power over a certain person, and that it is a two-way street, and that no one person should have the more power over another person,
Right.
and that it's like a back and forth aspect. You ask someone to do something politely, they'll do something for you. But don't ever expect anything. I've talked about that many times. I've learned so much from just living that sort of life. And that, once again, that entire power aspect, looking at it in a selfish aspect, I can gladly say, and this is going to be one of the most selfish things that I've ever said in my life. However, it became prominent in me, like to it becoming important, because I've used this selfish way of thinking in order to better my lifestyle.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, well, because of my selfishness, because of my desire for power over a person, they are no longer in my life. However, you can look at them as a stepping stone.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I definitely see what you're saying. And like that makes me think about one of the most powerful things you can have is connections. And
It's very true.
everybody builds a relationship at some point in the idea of gaining from it. Like, that's so fucked up to say. But think about the amount of people that you've talked to only to raise your social status, like your intellectual gain or something like that. Like, I mean, let's think about, you're in a class that you don't really understand. You might make a connection with somebody just with the idea of them being like the person to do your homework. So many people do that, and it's just kind of crazy to think about.
I had a long conversation with my mom actually about this, and it was exactly that. It was all intention based. It was, is what you were doing really a problem, or is it not a problem because you're doing it in the first place? So, for example, if you text your ex-girlfriend,
Okay.
right? And you apologize, right? You apologize to make them happy, to make them feel more content about the situation. But the
Okay.
true meaning that you're apologizing is because of one night you feel as if you can have a chance to have sex with them again. Is that a problem? Is that wrong, or is it not wrong because you're apologizing in the first place? That's my way. Like, that's my philosophy. Isn't that?
Wait, are you saying that it's wrong, or are you saying that it's right?
I'm saying it's neither, because I think that you're doing something correct by apologizing, but you have malintent in the first place. Or is it really that bad?
So,
it's perspective.
Let me take a step back from what you had just said. Who is going to judge that? Like, what you said would look at it from a situation-based aspect. You look at that situation and you decide. But you can't decide every situation when you look at it from like a macro perspective. Mm-hmm. Who decides what is right and what is wrong? Who decides, like, you can't tell me one person that can write something about right or wrong. Because when do you know when you're right and when you're wrong?
Like, who is there to say that stealing is right or wrong?
I mean,
Because
that's with like everything though, if you think about it.
yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, that's what we were saying. Like, who's to decide any of it?
Yeah, it's all lawmakers. It's just what we are told. Because, I mean, if we look at Romeo and Juliet, like, wasn't Romeo old as shit and Juliet was like 13? Wasn't he like 30
yeah.
and she was
think
13?
so.
like, like one of the most popular fucking stories on the face of the earth. Like, it's just, come on, bro. Like,
But like, let me talk to you about this. How do you feel about, like, say when we were in high school, a senior dating a freshman?
that made me uncomfortable.
Why?
Because the age difference. It's the age difference because of the level of maturity.
And that's what I was going to talk about. I think that the people that are like pedophiles never got to experience that. They just don't understand what, like, but then that goes into everything. Like, those people don't understand. They don't register that it's morally wrong because of experience.
Or they do and they just don't care. But
Yeah.
there's two sides.
But like
of the
at that
spectrum.
point, they have more than just that wrong with them. Like if you think about, that could be about anything. Where in their history did they go wrong? Because like, just like I'm talking about how I don't have free time, what am I doing wrong? And that's where looking on the psychological aspect of being like a forensic psychologist and just going into why somebody does something or when they did something and like their motives and stuff like that. At the same time, we're living from experience.
Yeah.
And everything that we consider right is because it's just so happened to work up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
We live with it and we're taught that and we're going to teach more to do that. And that is what we run off of. Our moral compass comes from a history of experience.
That's a great conclusion. Great way to like tie it all together.
Thank you.
Bro,
It's got every single topic in one sentence. That's
I did a circle around the whole podcast, reeled it in.
I'm a poet now.
You want me to be a poet?
Yeah.
You want me to write a poem for you?
Wake up tomorrow morning. I want to be a poet.
Oh,
No, I
shit.
cannot tell you how many times I would walk into Miss Edgel's class and be like, I think I want to be an English teacher today. And she would be like, what? I'm telling you, like, I've only been living with him for like 3 weeks. He can tell you that I'll be like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this today. I think I'm going to do this today. I'm going to be a poet.
Day.
Every day I'll just say something different. I'll just be like, I'm feeling a giraffe tamer today or something like that.
Okay.
Or like,
That could be a little side business.
hey, you know, we could make it work. But
All right. I do want to conclude this very soon. However, I want to go into a little bit of this past weekend because of the Met Gala.
we're going to talk about the Met Gala.
We're gonna talk about the Met Gala.
Let's do it.
First of all, I'm just going to say, where the fuck was Gunna? That's all I have. That's first.
Where was Ghana?
Where was?
What is he doing?
Why was Gunna not there?
Where was Ghana? Can I just say, this might be an unpopular opinion. My favorite fit was Lil Nas X.
That's a good fucking
The
answer.
fucking
That's a
suit
good
of
fucking
armor. That shit was so tough, bro. I was looking at it and I was just like, who pulls up in a suit of armor? Did it go with the theme? Not at all. Was it maybe the furthest from the theme? Yes. But, dude, if I ever had an invitation to the Met Gala, why would I not pull up in a suit of armor? You can't tell me that is not badass.
I love Lil Nas X, bro.
Dude, sometimes he pisses me off, but like,
Really?
dude,
Why?
like, I don't know. Just if you follow him on Twitter,
Yeah.
you'll
Okay.
know. Follow him on Twitter.
Everybody's like that on Twitter.
I know, but still.
I don't know. My favorite thing about Lil Nas X is he just takes advantage of what people don't want to hear because people
Like
want
6ix9ine.
to hear more of it.
Right.
Exactly. So
he basically did what 6ix9ine did, but he's not such a shitty person.
and he just does it pushing the gay agenda.
Just keeps doing
It's
it.
fucking genius. I love that
Lil
shit.
Nas X. And his music is good too.
His
Like I
music
won't
is
even
very
lie.
good.
Like I very much rock with some Lil Nas X on the speakers.
I definitely would too.
It's just,
Dude, favorite song?
dude, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's the one that he got a lot of hate for.
Oh, Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah,
Yeah, Monte. Bro, that song is hot.
Yeah, that one. That's a pretty good song if you ask me.
Dude, did you watch the Jack Harlow music video controversy?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
watched the
Dude,
music
that
video, but I
was-
don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so like apparently he wasn't in any of the part where like there was gay people there. So then they were like hating on him. They were like, "All right, this
Oh
man's a
my
sexist or this man's this and that."
Man,
Really?
it's
That was-
Jack
that was a whole
Harlow,
thing That
man.
happened. It was a whole thing that happened like a month
Why
ago.
do-
I don't. Why did I not hear about this?
Yeah.
Dude, it was everywhere. I
Really?
literally kept reading about it. It's pretty interesting.
Back to the idea of cookies. You're going to see what you want to see.
That
Good
is
job.
true.
They
Yeah.
threw that shit back at you. You saw it once and you were like, damn, this is hot shit. And they just
Yeah.
keep throwing it at you.
Hey,
Damn.
did you not know that was a thing?
No.
I didn't hear about
What?
that.
I hate that shit.
I know.
That's so ridiculous to me. Like, whether or not that's actually true, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's true. I'm not 100%
Telling
sure.
me
though.
Jack.
Why would he? No.
See, it wasn't. See?
Why would he make a song with Lil Nas X if he had something against the gay people.
For the bread.
No, but then he took pictures with him at the Met Gala.
Well,
Jack Harlow is not that type. Like I don't know Jack
ago.
Harlow personally, but he's not that type of. I just don't see him doing
I know.
that.
I was joking, but like, it was like a month ago that this happened. Like, it wasn't actually true. But people were just like talking about like, okay, this guy's.
Oh, I fucking hate social media. Fucking.
Did you actually not know about this?
No.
What? I mean, I'm usually like the last person to find out about everything, but
I thought I would
actually
know
found
about
out about this.
Fuck that. It makes me so mad when people bitch about stupid shit. Like I hate to be like that, but like if Nate or Cash or Carlos Sanchez are on here, I used to tell them to stop bitching at me all the time. Like I just hate bitching. Don't bitch at me. You can complain to me. You can talk to me, but just like chill out. Let's chill out. But people will be online and they just bitch about stuff. Like this situation like could have been complete coincidence. Yet they're bitching about it.
It's just what it looks like. If it looks like something, people are automatically going to make the assumption because it's 2021. It's just, it's sad that that's the point that we're in, but...
You know, we got to judge people on their character.
Goddamn right.
You know who said that?
Who said that?
Martin
Tupac.
Luther King Jr.
Oh.
Tupac probably did say happy belated birthday to Tupac.
Facts.
September and
16th.
Playboy.
Wait, no, 13th. I'm tripping.
Wait, he was supposed to drop an album, wasn't he? 3 nights ago, I saw a tweet and it said album coming, and I stayed up till 12:30, and nothing came out.
I can explain. So it is an actual album. Did you see Playboy Cardi's Twitter?
I might have, yeah.
Okay. He tweeted out, fuck it, drop the album, we don't need the samples. Or like,
oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So it is an actual album.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just clothes, which I thought that's what it was.
That's what everyone was saying.
Yeah, I put that on my story, and then it wasn't just clothes, it was actually an album. But no one knows when it's going to drop now.
Damn.
Then what was the date for?
Well, he thought that it was going to be 13th, but he didn't get the samples cleared.
All right, okay.
He said, fuck it, drop it. Asking for a lawsuit. Asking.
Curdy.
Also, back to the Met Gala.
Okay.
All good. Got a little sidetracked. What did you think of the amount of guys in dresses?
Russell Westbrook. I'm a Lakers fan, so I didn't really like that too much.
Russell Westbrook were...
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm all for wearing whatever you want. That's my opinion. If you're a guy and you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. However, I have not seen that many people wear a dress and actually look good in the process, guy-wise. And it just makes me upset because, like, I feel as if you're going to try to break the gender norms, you want to look good in the process so more people feel inclined to do it so you look good. I mean, the only person that I've actually seen that looks good in a dress and is a guy is Young Thug.
I have not seen that.
The Jeffrey cover.
Oh, okay.
He is drippy.
Bro, that dress was fire.
I feel like I completely forgot what I was about to say.
You're good.
But
All right, go ahead.
okay, I think that I don't even know if it goes to breaking the gender norms. I think it's just like fashion.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Okay.
Like,
fashion is changing. Like
new trends come out all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a mullet. At the beginning, nobody wanted a mullet.
Definitely.
And now everybody wants. I tried to get a mullet.
Mullet is a great example of it. It's like,
and then dresses. Soon enough, they'll be like normal, and they'll start like.
It's just gonna be normal.
Them.
Obviously, you got to be drippy with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not. But then
Like
I feel
with,
like that. So like talking about the Met Gala, they are too famous to not be drippy. Like even if their fits are not fire, that's gonna sell. They are drippy because their presence alone sells the fit with it. But like if any one of the three of us went out there in a dress right now, and let's say we just went out with it, we weren't drippy with it, we're gonna get shit on for that.
Yeah.
But then if like Kid Cudi wearing a dress, he's not gonna get shit for it. Obviously, there's gonna be the side. You know, we talked about cookies. There's gonna be the side that hates it because they're just gonna hate it. But then if you look at it from the aspect of doing it and setting it up to be drip, That's different.
Well, my thing is I'm going to judge fashion no matter what. If you're a guy and you're wearing a dress and you don't look good, I'm going to judge you just as hard as a girl wearing a dress who doesn't look good. I know that sounds terrible, but it doesn't matter. Like, in my opinion, I'm going to judge you no matter what. Okay, that sounds fucking terrible. I'm going to have my opinion on what you're wearing no matter what. And I just don't, like, I didn't think Kid Cudi in that dress looked that good. That sweatshirt looked fire. And then that chain looked hot.
Oh, yeah.
That chain was fire. But, like, other than that, bro, I just felt, me personally, I felt as if he was trying maybe too hard. I mean, I respect the drip 1,000%, but I'm just like, come on, man.
The way that I have learned to look at, like, celebrity fits is, like what I was saying, it's their presence. The fit that Cudi wore to the Met Gala was such a Cudi fit.
Okay. All right. I can get behind that.
Like, I separate that from when he wore the dress on SNL because that was in commemoration to something. But the fit that he wore at the Met Gala, I thought it was good because that's Cudi. Mm-hmm. When I listen to his music, this is what I can almost piece together as a human being of his music. And, like, Frank Ocean was another example. Like, Frank Ocean with the doll. Like, that is Frank Ocean. That fit is Frank Ocean. And it's like, you can't do that with everybody, but when you're accustomed to these people as social media pushes you to be, and you follow somebody that you enjoy their music or you enjoy whatever they do, you're going to be less inclined to pay as much attention to it and just be like, that is them. Mm-hmm. I like that. That is them. Like, obviously, I wouldn't walk out in Cudi's fit and it would not be fire on me, but it's fire on Cudi because that is Cudi. That is a Cudi fit.
I disagree just because I didn't like the fit in general, but I completely respect where you're coming from, though. I mean, a lot of people were shitting on Kim Kardashian's fit, bro. I love that Donda fit, that Donda look, bro. That was hot. What?
Dude, I was like, what is she doing?
Yo, she looked tough.
The only reason why I would say that I don't completely agree with it is because when I think of Met Gala, I think of, like, crazy costumes and stuff like that.
Like
but
flare,
the fit itself was fire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see Gunna's fit that he put on his Instagram I think it was about 5 6 days ago. If you haven't seen it, pull it up real quick because it is one of the funniest. Like, everyone always says Gunna has drip, and Gunna 1,000% is literally drip or drown king. Like, I mean, he has drip season 3, about to come out with 4. But, bro, are you looking at that fit right now?
Dude, getting there.
It's like a Dior sweater. He's got, like, long shorts.
Red and yellow?
No, that one's fire. It's the black one.
Here.
But it is this one right here.
I didn't even notice they were shorts.
Oh my. Wait.
Dude, he can pull that off though,
bro. And
that's what I was. That's like. Thing. That is. Yeah. When I think of Gunna, I could think of this outfit.
Bro, the long socks and the shorts, bro. I'm like, all right, bro. I love Gunna. But come on, man.
I mean. But then he has a chain, so it makes up for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the short and sock combination.
Short and sock
But maybe I don't have the drip to be speaking about this. So I don't want to take back what I said, but come on, Gunna.
Come on, man.
I feel like your drip is your drip. It's like how you carry yourself. So, like, I see, like, people walking around.
Hold up. They taught us this a long time ago. Drip and sauce. Somebody. Whoa! Why do I feel like this is about it?
I think you're talking about that Best Buy ad.
Yeah, it was the Best Buy guy.
Yeah,
drip and sauce.
The drip is permanent, but the sauce is forever.
Yeah. Yes, that is.
That's what he said. The drip is permanent and the sauce is forever.
It wasn't drip. There was another word for it.
Juice.
Yeah, it was the juice and the sauce.
I
do think drip and juice are pretty similar then. Yeah, you drip the juice.
You drip the juice. You drip the juice. Exactly. It's like you can have drip. Mm-hmm. But a fit is drippy.
Okay.
But a sauce is what you bring with the fit.
Yeah.
You can have the sauce. You can dress up in anything and go out there, and you'll make a fit fire. Obviously, if it's a whack-ass fit, it's not going to be fire. But you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like it's like you see guys wearing like Air Force Ones and then like dark, like black skinny jeans. Yeah. I could never wear that. But like I would look so bad in that. But then like if you see someone up there, like they're not looking that bad.
Yeah.
It's like all about different fits and how you fit yourself in one of them.
I agree. I mean, I have very similar thoughts to that because, I mean, I love to wear the entire colored palette.
Yeah.
I'll wear anything.
I could not do that. I either wear white or black.
Really?
Yeah. Got the white shirt on right now.
I could tell with the chain on. I don't know. It's just, it is really how you present yourself and whether or not you can rock it. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I don't like Gunna's fit all that much, but it's Gunna, and Gunna can rock whatever the fuck he wants.
And that's what I was saying about Cuddy.
And now I'm starting to see where you're coming from, and now I feel as if maybe I was just hating on the fit and not really appreciating like what they're attempting to do. So no, I mean I definitely understand. So whether or not I like the fit itself, I can still appreciate that. All right, bro, you're still rocking that shit.
That's Cuddy rocking that shit. Like obviously a fit's gonna be whack. Like if it's crazy, but like if you take a step back and you're like, no, that's he knew what he was doing when he was planning this fit. Like it's not just shit he threw together. And that's like appreciation, you know?
I agree. Anything else you guys would like to add on?
Nah, just about how you carry yourself.
Goddamn right. And this will conclude episode 19 of the Brandon Alper Experience. We got an hour and 34-minute long podcast.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate that.
You should do like those things
I've been waiting
YouTubers
so long.
Do. Like they put halfway through their video, like if you're still watching, type like cookie in the comment section below.
Oh,
so if you write that right now, you'll see it really watches it.
Okay. Or I'll do that when like the black screen comes on because
Right.
probably I'll write some text on the screen whenever the black screen comes on whenever the camera ended. For whoever is still watching this, camera situation will be fixed in the future, but I mean, it's first time jitters, not jitters, but like first time not being at the studio. Curve. I'm mad that I didn't discuss how it is to talk about this compared to not in the studio. But I'm going to just touch on it really fast before we finish. I definitely feel a lot more comfortable because this is more homely.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was doing the podcast in the studio, I'm not going to say it felt forced because it never felt forced.
Right.
Like I felt relaxed. I felt as if I was talking. But now I feel as if it's like I'm literally doing this at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We walked down the hallway, bare feet, to get here.
I have no socks on right now.
I'd never walk around with socks off until I got to college. Like I just don't care anymore.
It's all just home. I don't.
Like
I definitely see what
going
you're saying.
5 minutes away to Connor's room. I'm going 5 minutes to my room. It's just like you're just going there. You're not going out or anything.
Oh, it's great.
Also, none of the things that we have said in this are meant to offend anybody whatsoever. We just have differing opinions. If you want to know anything of what we said, want any more information, any specifics on like a single thing that we said that maybe you disagree with, just message us. I'll have all the Instagrams, Twitters, whatever it is in the descriptions and whatnot. And I just really want to say that I appreciate every single person for watching this. I love y'all.
Thank you.
Give a time check. 1:35 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Holy fucking
Grinding.
shit.
And I have an 8:30 a.m. lab tomorrow.
Oh my god. Any finishing things that you guys would like to say?
No, just keep doing you.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Maybe we'll get back on here some other time. If we don't get hit with a no, if we don't get,
if we make it on the list.
let's see how this one.
List.
Let's see how this one gets views.
No, I mean, my thing is I've had a lot of people that I've enjoyed on the podcast want to hop on it again, but my thing is just I want to do enough podcasts that I don't really want to have the same people on because so many people have things to say. I don't want to have the same person on unless it's like a while. If it's been a while, then I'll have the same person on.
And I definitely understand that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 20, this is the 22nd episode if you count all of them, and I'm just like, well, I'm not at the point where I even want to have the first person back on, second person. Like, there's so many people, bro.
Yeah. Especially
So
now that
many
you're in
different
college.
opinions,
Like,
too.
think about the amount of people that's like, you have one conversation, you're like, they can talk, get on here.
Yeah.
Like, so many people you're going to run into now that we're here. Like, I don't blame you. There's so many people, and you should. Like, I would be more inclined to listen to something where it's new people
Yeah.
every time.
All right. And finally,
Okay.
all right.
Gotta go to sleep.
Actually,
Gotta
we have to go to sleep. I have a class at 9 something in the morning. I also have to do a fucking sociology project. College,
go.
right there.
Yep.
We are all set. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Peace out. Enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.